Hello, hello, and welcome to the Gospel of Comics. It's me and Rune Knight holding down the fort while Church is busy making hats and Christmas wear. That was what Church said he was doing?
Yeah, something like so. What you're saying is the inmates are in charge of the asylum tonight.
Yes. But Church is clearly revealing his secret docs that he works for Santa. So
Yeah,
I want to spread that rumor to anybody watching the show right now so that we can tell Church
please.
that later when he shows up that he's actually one of Santa's elves.
No, I mean
As
that is the secret. Church is a parent. He's already on the Santa Helper Squad.
mm, mm.
This is
So
why my mom used to tell me when I was being a little shit that Santa may have brought the presents, but she decides when I get them.
mm, mm, mm.
Because that's the connective tissue. Is the parents decide.
So we're going to be doing the show in like we typically do when we're down a man. We don't always run the show as long, but we're going to work with what we have here to keep the flow of the show going. So there's been some controversy involving Goodman Games, and I don't understand what the controversy is, but Joe is more tied into that sort of thing.
Right. So to clarify this, first and foremost, anyone who's watching this show long term, I think you know what we already know. Music, games, and uh, comics are three branches on the same hobbyist tree, deeply and closely connected. Right.
Mm,
So literally, my youth was the maybe not as wealthy as what a late '80s, early '90s film would show you of a kid room, but it was the best facsimile of that, right? So listening to Iron Maiden, reading horror comic books, and playing the Dungeon and Dragon, right? Maximum nerd. Uh, and I'm sure that I've mentioned on show at least once the differential between corpo gaming, that is the approved corporate made multi-million dollar company games TM, like the current incarnation of Dungeons and Dragons in the fifth edition. Uh,
well,
and
soon to be the past version of
right,
Dungeons and
right,
Dragons.
to be replaced by 5.5, 6.0, and or walled garden electronic virtual tabletop, because you too should have to pay for the privilege of having fun. Um, but then there's also the gaming equivalent of CG, which is called OSR, Old School Revival, Old School Renaissance. The difference is that unlike CG, which was at its rudiment, we're talking base or Gamergate, if you will, at base, was a consumerist revolt. OSR was literally just a hobbyist clique of people who liked old games. We just liked to make and play old games. It's just fine. We didn't have any problem with other people liking other things. But as we got into current year, because it's the current year, Larry, it's very important that you
Mm.
understand it's the current year. Uh, extremists, we often refer to them as tourists because they come in like locusts, mess shit up, and then they leave. They have no plans to stay. Um, Started insisting that you needed to play the corpo game, or you have to play the old game in the approved format. Because if you play the old game, you're a racist, bigot, homophobe, sexist monster. Because old game was not updated for modern audiences, and it's full of recidivist, backward ideas. Right? Uh, so OSR instantly became a politicized countercultural movement against the same kind of assholes we deal with in comics. They call them sparkle trolls, danger hairs, wokies, wokists. Pick your poison. The thing is that you have not only dispute in the hobbyist clique, because there are people that are like, you're still playing game wrong if you don't play game like I play, and those people are full of shit, right? But there's dispute in the financial sector of indie gaming, because some indie gaming people like Grim Jim, who we've had on show before, whether they're lefty or righty, it doesn't matter. They think games should be free. And I don't mean free financially, I mean free to do whatever the fuck you want at your game in your way. Because it's your game. Right? So if you say you want to play D&D, but everyone is a titty goblin, more power to you. They don't care. And that is their corporate line as well. They make the games your mom used to be warned about by the Christian right. Do we actually worship Satan? No, but Stan's a good guy. On the other hand, you have indie game publishers who have decided, to use the colloquial, to bend the knee, to accept that, yes, we are a dangerous, unhealthy, unfriendly subset of society, and we need to do better by having more representation and safety tools in our games. Safety tools being a thing derived from BDSM subculture, by the way. Just, take that in your pocket. And sometimes it's the company's base position, and we just look at them and go, you guys suck, and we move on. Right? The Goodman Games thing, if their website has finally gotten to the store, which it has not, is Goodman Games did there we go. Dungeon Crawl Classics.
Which was one of the first OSR games.
Right, it's one of the first OSR games, ridiculously successful, many years of money in the bank. Right?
They also made a sequel game called Mutant Crawl Classics.
Yep.
Which is an attempt to do Gamma World.
They've also got Lankhmar Essentials, so if you like your Farford and the Grey Mouse or book series, there's that. Right? They've more than proved that the model works. And yet, to get positive placement at the recent convention, Indie RPG Creators Summit, they have bent the knee. They made a public statement about their commitment to making a safe game space, which implies that the game space is not safe to begin with, which is always bullshit.
But they made that after various people started attacking them on social media and attacking the convention organizer.
Now, this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.
I mean, it's all a bunch of commie gobbledygook.
It is. It is.
It is. But here's the thing. How did this come about? It came about because of this image, and I'm gonna share this rather than link it, because I will then go back a step to the actual statement they made. Share screen. Games.
And
okay, put that, yeah. So here's what the lefties got mad about. Right.
I mean, I only recognize like two of those people.
Well, that's the first thing. The first thing is everyone said, "Who are all these people?"
Like the guy there at the bottom, Bob the World Builder. I recognize that guy.
That's one of the names I know. But here's the other thing. So first they said, "Who the fuck are all these people?" Which is true. Like, I don't know who any of these people are, but you can see right there that's Joseph Goodman from Goodman Games. Right?
Yes, I recognize him.
The next thing though was, where are the women? Followed by, where are the creators of color? And it's not about whether or not those people exist. It's just, why weren't they on this sheet? Even though it says, and dozens more.
It also says above there, presenters include.
Right. And I hate to tell people, because this is part of the crux of dealing with the extremists. Tabletop RPGs is a niche of a niche. Because gaming, even though it has become very widespread, is already a niche. Video gamers and tabletop gamers don't cross-pollinate generally. Everybody plays video games, but it's like your Call of Duty chads don't do D&D. Right? So, not knowing who these people are makes perfect sense. I don't know who these people are. You don't know who these people are. Nobody knows who these people are. That's fine. Right? But that brings us to the statement. So they made a statement, and then this graphic is part of it. We hope this update helps to address a crucial oversight in our promotional image, where we failed to adequately represent the diverse members and speakers within our community. Although it was not our intention to exclude any of our speakers, this mistake underscores broader systemic issues and the responsibility for us to help maintain and promote a high standard of inclusivity in spaces that suffer from underrepresentation. We are truly thankful for the feedback from our community, which has been a helpful wake-up call for our team. This will be used as an important learning experience, and we have revised our promotional image to more accurately reflect the valuable contributions of all our community members and event participants. Moving forward, we have committed to engaging in more in-depth internal discussions to proactively prevent such oversights and promote inclusivity.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
It is. It 100% is. So here's the crux of it. The lefties were mad because they weren't lefty enough. So they revised their image and apologized. And now the righties, some of whom are my friends, some of whom are whack job weirdos on the far end, are mad because you never apologize, never give them an inch, never surrender. Any credence you give them makes the Wokies stronger. And it is just the biggest, most tiring nothing burger. Because you know what? One, I'm not going to this convention. I'm a poor kid in Washington State. I'm not going to this convention. Two, even if I was, I don't know who the fuck any of these people are. And I'm not going to know who any of the new people in the new art are either. Right?
Like, one of them is a YouTuber that I have heard of.
Right.
And one of them, you know, was the guy behind Goodman Games. Outside of that, I don't know who these people are.
Nobody knows who these people are, and it doesn't matter. That's the thing. It doesn't matter, because here's the deep, dark secret they don't want you to know. Okay? Because you and I were talking the other night, and we were talking about weird stuff, and we got to class warfare of all things. This is class warfare.
It is.
Because what they don't want you to know, and if you're watching this show, I'm grabbing the screen. You can't see it, but I'm grabbing it. I'm grabbing it They Live style, and I'm screaming, they don't want you to know that if you actually go to this convention, it's going to be 60% dudes in trucker hats with beer guts.
It is.
It's not because it's right-leaning. It's because it's the equivalent of a gun show for nerds.
That's racist!
Oh, well...
I mean, it's true.
See,
the thing is,
I have power for the video clips now because I do a better job of dropping them in good places.
But here's the thing: I didn't specify the ethnicities of the dudes in trucker hats.
Well, nerds are a race, aren't they?
Oh, I would love to be recognized as an ethnicity. Like, excuse me, sir, I'm an ethnic geek.
Exactly.
My parents came over on the D20. We settled at Percentile Rock. And we survived the witch hunts for Satanists. How dare you, sir? Good day.
Good times. Good times.
Oh, that would be great.
So I'm going to do something that is unusual for the show. we're gonna do a book review.
Oh my god.
It's true. It's true. Occasionally, there are books we do read.
I did actually read that other link you gave. I was actually interested in the idea that the big Marvel is misunderstanding how do their own numbers.
It's true. They don't. They don't know.
We have a new person. A person has entered the stream.
It looks like church.
It's church.
I
Church.
went to smoke, so I decided to see what you assholes were doing while I was absent.
Well, we're doing the show.
I have to ask, how cold is it at the North Pole?
Shut up, you fucker! Not Santa Claus.
Well, no. We said you're working for Santa Claus. That's why you were late. Is because you're producing product for Santa's workshop.
Yeah, let me just tell you, that fat fuck orders entirely too much shit in the month of December. We could have had this shit done in March.
So tell me, do they all look like Peter Dinklage, or they all look like Warwick Davis, or is it kind of a mixture of elves?
It's actually a shitload of Patrick Warburtons.
Mm.
Oh wow, they're like short Burtons?
No, they're tall.
Oh.
No, they're tall.
Okay.
Yeah, Santa's actually 18 feet tall. I don't know if you knew that.
So what you're telling me is
So
that
the normal size Patrick Warburton is an elf for him.
So all the elves look like Patrick Warburton and sound like Krunk from the Emperor's New Groove.
Now we do have an actual recording Church brought us of Santa.
I'm kind of retarded.
That is him. That's the man. Same guy. In fact, he's already got me to buy a subscription to Natural Male Vitality.
So what we're saying is that working at Santa's workshop is basically dedicating 3 weeks out of the year to serving the most autistic gift giver on Earth.
No. See, what you don't understand is that InfoWars is the North Pole.
Okay.
Alex Jones is Santa Claus, and you're all getting Natural Male Vitality for Christmas.
Look, it was the only place he could tell the truth without government interference.
He's got to figure out where to get bankruptcy somewhere, so he's being Santa this year.
Right.
So I read a book.
Wait a minute. I want to throw this out there. BC, if you're watching this, suggestion for your next movie: Alex Jones Saves Christmas.
Versus Santa Claus. No. Have him fight Santa Claus for
Versus
the
Santa
right
Claus?
to the position. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So
book review.
So book review.
What book did you read, Larry?
I read the book that's in the link. The Reign of Marvel Studios, MCU. So this book is an actual history of the creation of the Marvel Studios system. And
how are you supposed to read a bunch of smeared shit on the pages, though?
No. This is an actual history with, notes and interviews.
I assume that it's scrawled feces on paper. Yes.
It is not. It is not. And this story starts all the way back when Stan said, "Hey, listen, guys, I'm going to let somebody else run the comic book company. I'm going to go out to Hollywood to get them to make movies."
And the next page is, and then it did get worse, meme.
And Stan was not very successful about that. And then it goes into the history of corporate raiders taking over Marvel, including giving Stan $1 million because Stan as a marketing icon was worth $1 million to the company.
To be in every Marvel movie ever made.
Yes, but we haven't gotten the Marvel movie part of the story because, then Marvel goes bankrupt. And Marvel actually goes bankrupt. It goes into a little bit of detail how it's not just that the collector boom busted for comics. It also goes into the whole thing about how the trading card aspect of the Marvel bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Flair and Topps played a big part in that. There was, you could get the collect. Go ahead. Sorry.
I used to collect those.
Yeah.
You can get a whole set of them for like $8 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they printed a set. Hold on one second, because I am actually knowledgeable about that particular thing too, because they happened side by side. And my father was into sports cards while I was really into comics as a kid. So what happened was, in the 70s and 80s, when you bought sports cards, a lot of the time they would actually accrue in value because of the limited print runs and the high quality of players in those sets. Then what happened in the late 80s and early 90s, they said, people are buying these because they think they're going to be worth money. Let's print a set for every man, woman, child in the fucking country. That way, all your Michael Jordan rookies and shit from the late 80s, early 90s, they're not worth shit. Because there's 3 million of those motherfuckers in circulation, and they all went into a top loader as soon as they were pulled.
It is
Kind of like
true.
the Death of
It is
Superman comic.
See, I'm gonna tell you something, Church. It's gonna make you cry on the inside, so I apologize now.
Mhm.
I did not know any better because I was a kid,
Mhm.
and I did not follow baseball. So when I
Mhm.
happened to get a pack of baseball cards, I was just given a pack of baseball cards. I'm like, oh, gum. Gum is good.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yes,
looking
yes.
at my cards here. I had Cal Ripken Jr. from the Red Sox.
Oof.
And I was like, oh, this
Larry,
is pretty
Larry,
cool.
can you kick this fucking savage off of our screen? I don't want to know what he's about to say because it's gonna make me hate him.
The thing is that not knowing any better, I started
Uh-huh.
going out of my way to collect Cal Ripken Jr. cards because I thought he was somebody.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, he is.
He was. He is. He
For a week.
he holds no. He holds the records for most consecutive games played by a single player.
Yes. He has a record that's likely unbreakable now in Major League Baseball because he showed up to
you
work
can't
every day.
you can't legally do it anymore. They make you take days off during the regular season because of him.
But the reason that this stands out in my mind is because at that time, at the same time you were talking about, his card was reprinted so many times
Mhm.
that what got me out of baseball cards as a nascent I could collect baseball cards kind of kid was I didn't read stats because I'm not good at math. I didn't
Mhm.
really know who was who, right? And I was like, why am I getting so many of this guy? And then I found out it's like, oh, this card is worthless. It's like,
Mhm.
really? It's like, yeah, there's a billion of them. I'm like, oh, well, then what the hell am I doing with this? I want more superhero cards because those at
Mhm.
least had cool art and interesting like
Yeah, those
story
Cal-
blurbs.
Those Cal Ripken Jr. cards that you got rid of for nothing.
Yeah,
That's probably a small fortune in today's market.
probably.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Because I'm not like a pack rat, but I might have a couple around here somewhere.
They're not in good enough condition to matter at this
I'm
point.
sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
if you left them exposed to any element whatsoever, they just depreciated so far in value.
So the book
Anyway,
then
continue.
goes into the bankruptcy of Marvel, how Toy Biz, tiny ass company, takes over Marvel, and how 2 Israelis convince the banks, listen, Spider-Man's $1 billion brand. We got a whole bunch of other brands that are $1 billion brand here. Give us a time and a line of credit, and we'll make it all work out. It goes into all of the early attempts by Arad to produce Marvel movies that several of them were good. Blade was good. Several of these things were good that people did like them, but they were not what happened with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And those things led to the creative tensions that led to the formation of Marvel Studio. And
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Larry, but that is by far the most intimidating hello I've seen in recent memory. If you look in the comments, someone named Sci-Biz Life has joined.
Yes.
And all they said is TikTok. It's like, is there a bomb? Is there a murder? Are we about to get raided?
Well, hold up. You're asking if there's a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I mean, yeah.
But then the book goes into how the Marvel Studios was formed and Marvel was supposed to pay money, but how Marvel convinced Merrill Lynch that instead of them giving them money, was Marvel promised they would try to give money towards setting up the studio. And it does a very good job of explaining how Kevin Feige wasn't the wizard who showed up and made Marvel movies the biggest things on Earth. It also talked about how lots of other people were important and crucial to the process of creating things, and how the creative tension between people like Jon Favreau, Kevin Feige, the Marvel Creative Committee, Ike Perlmutter, how all of these things led to good decisions.
Wait,
How-
are you saying that literally the MCU followed the Star Wars trajectory, and that's what's wrong now?
Yes, that is a reasonable take from this book's explanation of events, that as the corporate structure of Disney basically pipelined everything for Marvel, things started going to pot.
Well, because one of the things that has come up since the prequel trilogy is people have broken the mystique of George, because George revealed himself too much and didn't have the charm of Stan, and realized it's like, George is an idea guy, but he's not really a good creator. And people go, what do you mean? And they pointed out the number of other directors like Steven Spielberg who made Star Wars great, and how it's all actually the art of the set designer and the costumers who all of their talents made Star Wars. And the actor for Darth Vader, though he's kind of a prat, brought physical presence that James Earl Jones's voice would complement, right? And it required all the pieces in the right calculations to make a Star Wars that was amazing.
It also details how, as the corporate structure of the Marvel Studios was streamlining and pipelining, they focused more and more on giving people less and less authorial say in the movies. And you know what the movie was that was
just to cut in real quick to follow up on Rune's analogy there, and lament something that hurt today. As I was getting to work, the Eagles game was starting, and for those of you that didn't know, before today we were 10-1, highest ranked in the league, and as of today we are 10-2. I think still highest ranked in the league, but not by as much anymore. And my phone only shows me live updates when we're eating dog shit from the hands of our opponents. I'm sitting there screaming at my cell phone when there's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, going, "You only have to get 22 points, you assholes!"
And that's not impossible, depending on what.
But to follow up on the analogy, though, the Eagles went to the Super Bowl a few times recently. When they won the Super Bowl several years ago, I had to explain to everyone that this was a freak occurrence that shouldn't have happened, because the team that got us to the Super Bowl could not have won it. The team that won the Super Bowl could not have gotten us there.
But the point in which all of the events of the decline and degradation of old MCU into new MCU all came together, they all crystallized perfectly with Captain Marvel #1. Although Captain Marvel #1 was not the first movie greenlit under the new rule system. Black Panther and
I'm sorry.
Black Panther and Captain Marvel were.
That is a better name, and I like it. I have never been a fan of the Critical Drinker Doomcock MCU, because that makes the entire problem gender binary, and it brings in the feminists and all this other stuff. No, New CU. New CU is a great name, because it differentiates between the old structure, which was either disconnected movies, your Blade, your Raimi, your whatnot, and the nascent early MCU shared universe that was so good, right? And then everything that has followed since that is diminishing returns over time. That is a great acronym, and I think we should push it if people care to listen to us.
We should. There are of course interesting tidbits beyond just the mechanics of things. Like, before they started shooting the Avengers, Samuel L. Jackson was given his final script. He was promised by Joss Whedon that he wouldn't run at all, and the first scene he had to film was Nick Fury runs onto the deck of the helicarrier, and he said, Joss, I told you I wasn't going to run. He said, well, it's just one time. And then he said, motherfucker, in a way that only Samuel L. Jackson could. I like that. Also, it was literally Robert Downey Jr.'s decision to bring Tom Holland in as Spider-Man. And Robert Downey Jr. decided the iconic final line for Tony Stark in the MCU of "I am Iron Man," and he didn't originally want to do it. He had to be convinced to do it. But the most fascinating thing is the whole Thanos Infinity Gauntlet gambit wasn't the plan in Avengers. They realized like 2-3 years later that was the plan, and that they could totally make everything fit into that idea. And the only reason Thanos was in the Avengers movie is, well, we have to explain how Loki gets an army. And all the great moments that show this iconic storyline that so many people love. There's a lot of small decisions that were made that, as things build on, a bigger decision forms.
Hold on. I have to take umbrage with that.
Yes.
So, Loki could have very easily come through with an army of frost giants.
He could have. But that brings with it baggage that the studio didn't want to have to deal with.
Thanos brings baggage that the studio did have to deal with.
Thanos brought less baggage. Was the reason that was considered a reasonable decision.
I mean, I'm sorry.
And the reason that Falcon and the Winter Soldier happened is because of how Sebastian Stan and the actor who plays the Falcon, how the two of them fought on the tour, and how their sort of charisma and energy sort of bounced off of each other.
So the show was literally their share shirt?
Yes. And I have, in addition to this book review, and I do recommend you go out and purchase this book, I have a comic book review. And then I have the Doctor Who review, which I believe is what the Sci-Fi is Life was interested in, because he and I rewatched the second Doctor Who special portion. So we have the J. Michael Straczynski Captain America. We've had the third issue. So in the first issue, we introduce a bad guy who is an old man who makes a pact with the demonic power and then later takes over AIM because he wants to become the new cultural focal point hero person, replacing Steve and the weird totemic stuff that Gaiman came up with. In the second issue, Cap finds out about this, and in the third issue, we have Misty Knight and Cap and company investigating a weird occult ritual site. And then we do flashbacks to find out how the rejuvenated old man is now a new villain made with a bathtub gin version of the super soldier serum, empowered with gamma rays, and also has weird alien sorcery.
We've already done this with the Vulture and the animated Spider-Man series.
We have, yes. So they're ripping off the animated Spider-Man series. So after reading this one, and they're also continuing to focus on Cap as a young man, his adventures against the German Bund, I'm like, I'm going to bounce out on this one. I also, did we do the review of Avengers Inc.?
No,
number 3.
That was the thing I was mentioning earlier, because you linked it and I looked at it and went, oh, that's really interesting that Marvel Corporate would misunderstand how to read their own logic.
We're gonna talk about that briefly before we go to Doctor Who as well, because this is gonna be quick. So Avengers Inc. is, what if we make Janet Van Dyne a detective and we reskinned the format of Avengers Team Up. And instead of having it being a circling team of one person with an Avenger, it's an Avenger, some guy she found, and a random Avenger who shows up to help. And Janet Van Dyne's a detective. There's a mysterious killing at a jail. There's a mysterious killing at an Avengers-themed restaurant. And issue 3 was where the concept actually had the potential of being interesting. There's a murder in Valhalla. And Janet Van Dyne, as a superhero detective, is called in to investigate the murder.
We did talk about this. Rune just wasn't there for it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I didn't remember that.
No, I was. I remember mentioning it, but this is specifically about issue 3 and the fact that it's going to get canceled in 2 issues.
Yes. So I'm going to read this from Screen Rant. And I'm going to want to screen share that so the people can see the
we review
screen.
comics and we give them back to you.
The people.
I hate
Oh,
both
that's
of them
right.
so much.
I mean, Church. You did hire us to do this job. I mean,
I hate me even more, but that doesn't mean I don't hate you.
So what you're saying is we need to play the Beam oral or the Bane oral nuts Bane rap.
I mean, they actually have a soundboard for that thing. We can pull up the soundboard.
Oh yeah.
Now we go do this here.
I'm Bane. That's my name.
Here we go. And boop. Cancellation of Marvel Comics' new Avengers Inc. series is indicative of a larger problem regarding the brand's business model and how it interprets early signs of success, first hitting shelves last September. Avengers Inc. stars Janet Van Dyne the Wasp as the surprisingly powerful Victor Shade. That sounds like an old pulp hitman.
Well, scroll back up for a minute. Seriously. Go back up to the top. Okay, look at the appearance of the distaff vision here, Mr.
Yes.
Shade. Who does that look like to you?
Looks like Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, Vision.
But do you know who else that looks like?
Mm.
Take the gem off of his forehead. That's Doc Savage.
Yeah, it is. Totally is Doc Savage. Who was briefly a Marvel comic character at one point. Unfortunately, Avengers Inc. will need to rush
DC
to
comic character. I don't think he was a Marvel character.
No, he was.
They licensed Doc at one time.
I have read the comic where Doc Savage fought the Thing. It is the dumbest thing.
I've got the DC books and they're not terrible, but I don't have any of the Marvel books.
Well, I mean,
anyway.
Marvel had the Shadow for a week too. That also didn't work.
Unfortunately, Avengers Inc. will need to rush into wrapping up its many story threads as the series has been canceled by Marvel as of issue 5 per series editor Tom Brevoort. Via his Substack newsletter, it appears as if Marvel is judging Avengers Inc.'s success on single issue sales, but as further evidence will go on to explain, there are other ways to gauge fan interest that Marvel is overlooking. The way that Marvel is deciding which series live and die before they have the time to flourish is speaking to a larger issue that needs to be corrected. Marvel is cutting too many stories off the knees before they have time to grow and become, just because the publisher's brass are looking at incomplete data that only tells a fraction of the truth.
I do want to mention, unrelated, I really hate how Screen Rant does this article.
Yes.
This is not good journalism, because it's basically paragraph after paragraph of something is going on. Read more to find out. But they never get around to fucking telling you until the bottom.
Yeah. Avengers Inc. editor Tom Brevoort explains what the situation in his newsletter with responding to a question by a fan named Cathal. Unfortunately, Cathal, there weren't enough people like you, so we'll be wrapping this series up at issue number 5. Ford says the series just released the 3rd issue at the tail end of November. Avengers Inc. number 4 is currently slated for release in December, with Avengers Inc. number 5 coming on January 31st. Brevoort's words suggest Marvel's decision ultimately boils down to sales. Additional context can be found in the tweet from some guy The first issue debuted at the charts at number 29, dropped all the way to number 80. However, clearly there are other factors not being considered in the decision-making process, as User Comics points out. Collected editions aren't factored into this. It's common for some fans to wait 4 to 7 issues until 4 to 7 issues are collected into a single paperback volume months later, as not all fans consume comics on a bi-weekly or monthly basis. And as each issue is released, fans who are interested in the series but wait for the collections to release are being actively ignored in these cancellations, essentially ignoring purchases outside of the dedicated comic stores. The same can be said for readers outside of America, as blah 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 says. And
The
Marvel
Walking Dead is actually a key example of this, but I actually have to take the devil's advocate stance on this. Marvel has a twofold problem, and nothing they do is going to be considered right by people like us, because they have issues, or they have books out there like House of X, Powers of X, that ran way longer than 5 issues and were garbage. And then they have books that seemingly have promise that don't sell. Well, hold on.
I was about to say, House of X, Powers of X sold a fuck ton of copies.
It did, but not after issue 5. Like, it didn't maintain its popularity. People started waiting for the trades. People started reading it online, or they just gave up on it after the fucking gala events and stupid shit like that were introduced. There was a lot of drop off on books like that. So no matter what they do, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. If they let a book continue on because it has decent sales, then it turns to trash. If they cut a book because it doesn't have great sales, then they're garbage for, just cutting their losses.
There is another facet to this that I think is very pertinent, but let me be clear. Okay, let me be 100% clear. Let's assume for a minute Avengers Inc. is actually amazing. Let's assume it's the best detective super book that has been done in recent memory.
It's not because Jamie Madrox isn't the lead character.
But let's just assume, in another universe, that it is. Okay? In my experience, crusty old comics man that I am, this is Jessica Jones. This is Heroes for Hire, and I don't mean the original Iron Fist and Power Man version. I mean the Misty Knight era.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
I know what you meant.
They have done detective superhero as detectives.
Women, I think, is the common thing there, because, like I said, there was a very successful X-Men run, or X Factor, or whatever the fuck it was, where Jamie Madrox was chasing down the murderer of one of his doubles.
Right. The idea is not a bad one, and the execution doesn't have to be bad, but unless you have sort of a cult following, and I think cult following is kind of underappreciated, quite frankly, a lot of these just don't sell in the numbers that they expect because they never were going to. It's a very specific niche of taste.
Well, the article actually is absolutely correct in what it opens with, but incorrect. Hold on. Can I make my statement?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. The article is correct in saying this is a signifier of a bigger problem, but the bigger problem is what I've been saying the bigger problem is for the last decade. Every time they put a movie out, they're not handing you a comic book with your ticket. Yeah. Every time they put a show out, they're not releasing a subsidiary comic that tells stories about what's going on in the back end and keeps you involved on both fronts.
Actually, I got something for your church. That is 100% true. Because if we go back in time, way back, I went and saw the Tom Jane Punisher in theaters. Yep. And with my ticket, they gave me a reprint of the classic Spidey-Man where the Punisher was introduced.
I have that book. But the point, and they're not the first to do this, and they're not the only ones to do this. Pokemon has done it with just about every movie release they had up until about a decade ago. Right. Mm-hmm. People gave up on the idea of trying to rope you in on every front, and I think that's a big mistake, because the thing is, they have one of the most powerful tools they've ever had at their disposal in the MCU. Okay, it doesn't matter what quality of content they're putting out. Okay, let's just table that argument. It doesn't matter how shit something they put out is.
Because
The
the game
fact-
House of X, Powers of X sold a lot of copies.
Well, not only that, but I mean, She-Hulk had a great following. It wasn't us, but it was made for someone, and people watched it.
Right.
You know, the problem is
She-Hulk
they
actually
didn't-
had one of the lowest watches of any of the MCU product on.
I
Disney
hear you,
Plus.
but it got watches, didn't it? Those are potential comic sales.
But the point that the article wants you to take away is that people on social media like it. They should totally take Twitter seriously,
Hmm.
and you should. As
No,
I
not
say,
at
as
all.
I'm streaming this live stream to my Twitter account.
Yeah, I mean, it's serious business. But
I am with you, Church. I understand what you're getting at. I do just want to, again, because it's what we do, devil's advocacy. I want to mention that part of what is weakening Marvel as a brand, in addition to not giving comics, and we're gonna, like you said, we're tabling quality for a minute, okay, is where they are pushing book, they're pushing it in the wrong way or the wrong venue.
direction. They're
And
pushing it to the wrong direction.
And I have an excellent example of this. I've mentioned before the idea that back in the day for Mortal Kombat, if you wanted to be the Mortal Kombat kid, which didn't translate to being good at arcades, but people thought it did, you needed your Mortal Kombat jacket, your Mortal Kombat sunglasses, your Mortal Kombat t-shirt. Right now, at this exact moment, there are Dungeons and Dragons sneakers that have just been announced. So that you too can wear Dungeons and Dragons on your feet. Does it help you play D&D better? No. Does it actually tell people that you're cool and you like D&D? No. Does anyone give a shit about what's on your feet and that it's a dragon? No. But you've showed your loyalty to the brand. You showed your
I don't know,
loyalty
man.
to the lifestyle.
There's a guy on TikTok who buys a shitload of those big red boots from Mischief and changes them into video game, anime, and cartoon character shoes.
Right.
And I love that guy.
Look,
But
look,
what I'm getting at is that you
you're
get
consuming
those-
product and then getting excited for next product.
Right.
Oh
what I'm
man, he's
saying
making
is,
next product.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that you get those shoes because you like those shoes. You get those shoes because you do like D&D, which is fine, but it's swag.
No,
It's
90% of the people that are going to get those shoes are sneakerheads, Brew, and they're going to flip them for like 10
No,
times what they cost.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. What's actually going on is the selling of swag on a secondary market. Right?
Yeah, man, they're going to put a Supreme logo on a D&D like rule book soon, and you're not going to be able to get a hold of it.
And what I'm saying is that that's the wrong market to sell to, right? Because the gray market's going to make a killing.
Well, yes and no,
but
because
your primary won't.
well, not just that, but here's the double side of that though. When you slap a Supreme logo on a D&D textbook or you put out a D&D sneaker, you're potentially opening up your market to an untapped market. That's the kind of trade-off. Like you're shitting on your original market, but at the same time, I have to respect the idea that maybe one or two sneakerheads will buy these and go, we used to watch those idiots at school play this. Maybe we should try it.
I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. Like, yes, it makes sense for businesses to open new markets. The confusion seems to be, from my observation, that they're like, burn old market, get new market
Also
equal to old market, and it's like that doesn't work that way.
Also, I kind of not necessarily you, but anybody that makes that complaint, I have to kind of call out the hypocrisy of people who were upset back in the day when being a D&D nerd wasn't cool, and now being a D&D nerd with some fucking Jordan 11 off-whites with the dragon on them is cool. It kind of gave everybody what they wanted, but they're still not happy because they're not special.
Well, no. Well, okay. First of all, yes, that is a true thing. But here's the thing: that special status is a narrative. That's a lie. That is a lie they love to tell you.
I know. I was just poking the bear a little bit for our audience.
I get it.
But we're gonna segue into Doctor Who, and For Doctor Who, I'm going to post one of the few positive images I can post in regards
Wait a minute.
to
Wait a minute.
the
I'll
episode.
I'll immediately disregard it by giving my quick review of the Doctor Who magic decks before you dive into your.
Well, Larry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
Can you
But
show
I am still going to
Church?
post this wonderful image of Wilf, who was the actor who had lived and been in the series the longest. He passed away while they
Oh.
were filming the 60th anniversary special, but he was at the end of this episode.
But
His being
Very
at the
good.
end of the episode was a delight.
But Larry, do you want to show Church some of the bad body horror? Because that's just fucking hilarious.
Not yet, not yet. We're going to get to that though.
Okay.
So, Church, share with the people your review of the Doctor Who magic cards.
The people.
All right. So there were 4 unique BBC Wizards of the Coast collaboration commander decks put out for the Doctor Who series. There are 3 Doctor companion decks and 1 Dalek Master villain deck. So all your villains are together in one deck, and then you have 3 decks with all 13 Doctors represented, and I believe most of the companions.
So here's a question for
I
you,
know that-
Church. Can I
well, I
combine
got-
these
I gotta-
Doctor Who decks with regular magic decks?
Yes.
I got a quick one.
Yes.
Because we all know Magic the Gathering is no longer fun. Does the
That's
Dalek
not true.
only work if you shout "exterminate" at the table?
No, but that is the flavor text on one of the cards, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Because that's what you should do. Is you play the Dalek and you're like "exterminate."
Actually, they didn't do too horribly by the villains, I don't think. The main commander for the villains deck is the Dalek creator, and if you cause 3 damage to your opponent at the end of your turn, you create a black artifact creature Dalek 3/3 with menace that can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures.
Or stairs?
Now the complaint that I have, first off, is I played these. I play all my commander decks out of the box, fresh. No alterations, no changes, nothing before I start ripping them apart. Because you like to get a feel for what your deck wants to do, right?
Right.
And I think this was one of the first times that I've ever sat down and played a deck multiple times, and I couldn't figure out what one of the Doctor decks wanted to do. It didn't feel like I was playing Magic the Gathering. I was going through the motions. I was doing all the same things, tapping land for mana, all that good shit, playing artifact for, card advantage, all that stuff. But when I put creatures down on the board, it didn't feel like I was summoning creatures from the Aether to fight for my wizard tower. It felt like I was trying to play an episode of Doctor Who and beat the bad guy. And that just didn't feel good to me as a longtime Magic player. It didn't feel right. It's the same kind of feeling I got when I played some of the Lord of the Rings cards for the first time.
Mm.
Like, I feel like you're trying to recapture some of the magic of the Lord of the Rings in a game, and that just doesn't work. Like you can have Frodo and Sam as your commanders. You can control the one ring and all, but it doesn't feel like you're playing the game that you sat down to play. But to answer your question, Larry, yes, you can mix and match these with any other set of Magic cards ever printed. So you can have a demonic tutor in your 13th Doctor deck. My friend has already, the engineer Magic the Gathering friend that I have, has already broken one of the commander companion combinations to where every turn, if he does something in the correct order, he'll be making 12 to the 2nd power of whatever he creates.
Oh, that's horrifying.
It is, and I told him I would play it exactly 1 time, so he could get his rocks off on that, and then he could leave it at home. Because I came here to play a game, not get bent over and kissed with lipstick.
I mean, go play in an official tournament and see what happens.
When I play in the official tournament, I play something that makes me feel bad, Larry.
No, I mean, for him. Have him play that in the official tournament game and see what happens.
No, we Commander is not an official sanctioned format, and when it is sanctioned in certain events, you play something called CEDH, which is what I like to call when you break out your good cards.
Mhm.
You know, I have a red and white one that you win by turn 3, no matter what you draw. You just win the game.
Well, that's awful.
It is for everyone else when there's money on the line. It's terrible for them.
But I mean,
But
it's
by
also
turn
awful
3,
for you because you know you're doing something wrong.
yes, I know. But everyone else is doing something wrong. They're just not as good at it. So anyway, tell us about the 60th anniversary.
Well, this is the 60th anniversary, part 2.
Mhm.
In part 3, we've been promised extremely gay Neil Patrick Harris will be playing a classic Doctor Who villain. And we're also going to be getting rid of David Tennant, replacing him with...
Didn't we already see that in a series of unfortunate events?
Yes, but this is a Doctor Who version of that character.
I really don't want it to be any different.
So we have no actual connective tissue between the games because between the episodes, because why would we? Why would you in a 3-part series of episodes have any connective tissue that makes the narrative cohesive and together? So at the end of the last episode, Donna spills coffee into the TARDIS controls. And then the TARDIS crashes into Sir Isaac Newton's backyard. But because of the weird conflicts of Disney and BBC production sensibilities, Sir Isaac Newton is now a biracial person of South Indian descent. And that's the only reason that Sir Isaac Newton is there. And also for the Doctor to say, wait, am I gay now? I think I'm gay now. So they crash the TARDIS into a spaceship. The TARDIS runs away because of reasons. And they have to walk down a very large green screen CGI hallway, which is very much reminds me of lots of scenes from movies like Attack of the Clones.
Or Sky High, if you remember that
Yep.
family film. Larry,
Yep.
I've shared an image for the class.
Give me a second. Let's stop sharing this one. Pull up Maroon Knights at the stage.
This
Yes,
is a
this
portrait.
is...
This is a painted portrait of a man, now of South Asian descent. I didn't know. Now I do. I want to know how he got to where he made his discoveries in 1642. That interests me. I figure it was time fuckery by the Doctor, because the Doctor is responsible for all things.
Well, this is not the only time that the Doctor's met Sir Isaac Newton in time travel.
Well, wait a minute though. Were those other Isaac Newtons white?
Well, they were, but those don't count now because Disney's not involved.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm a little retarded, so I don't understand these things. I've never seen a person of South Asian descent, and I know more than a few, that pasty and that white-haired with those blue of eyes.
I mean, that is not what the actor who played him looked like.
Actor, I thought they actually sent David Tennant back with a time machine to meet Isaac Newton. I mean, this is all real, right?
Exactly.
They wouldn't just have a random actor of color do a historical figure, and then when you point out that that's kind of bullshit, counter that you can't say, as I saw a comment on this subject today, you couldn't have a white guy play Muhammad Ali because that would be racist. Because that would just be weirdly specific and kind of one-sided.
Well, as famous YouTube shill Patrick Williams once said, it's a show about space wizards intended for children. That we're going to focus on how the lead space wizard is super duper gay now.
Okay. So it all. So wait, oh no, that works. So what you're saying is that the Doctor in his most recent reincarnation had head trauma and this is all a fever dream / the result of a stroke, and he thinks he's gay now. Got it. Solid.
Well, no.
I'm down.
The doctor is confused about their identity, and soon the doctor will have they/them pronouns and be a gay black man.
Right. Because he has been misled by they/them danger hair females who have decided to tell him what he is, but really they're not brainwashing the doctor. They're just helping the doctor be who he really is. Because if X-Men has told us anything, it's not mind rape if it's for your own good.
Can we get Chris Tucker from Fifth Element to reprise his role for the new Doctor?
I mean, only if he does Ruby Ride. Yes, that would be.
Here's the thing: as much as I hate all the words you just said, Church, if they said instead of new guy actor I've never heard of, if they said we got Chris Tucker from America to reprise the role of Ruby Rod. Ruby Rod is the Doctor, and the Fifth Element is canonically part of Doctor Who. I'd be like, yes, proceed. I would put up with that.
It'd be the Shia LaBeouf meme with the clapping.
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
I will take the absolute abject, ear-piercing obnoxiousness of Chris Tucker if he is Doctor Who and a gay Doctor Who. I'm okay with this.
I thought the Doctor was asexual to begin with. But.
He is.
He is, except for when he isn't.
He's an energy creature who can be whatever the fuck he wants. I never had a problem with the idea of the Doctor assuming a female shape. I always had a problem with the idea of the Doctor assuming a female shape and then being an insufferable cunt. Those are two entirely different things.
That is, in fact, a problem. A serious problem.
Right.
So they walk to the end of the hallway.
Hold on. No, back up. The Doctor is an energy form that can take whatever form he likes.
Yep.
Yes.
And he chose David Tennant?
Yeah.
Twice. He chose him twice.
No. More importantly, because Larry and I have talked about this, he chose to be Matt Smith with that Swiss cheese jaw. The man is made of pores.
It's true.
He chose to be Matt Smith and David Tennant and not be John Hurt. I want to live in the reality where John Hurt is the Doctor for 7 seasons.
Now, they walk to the end of the hallway. They go to a computer.
Nick Cage. Nick Cage is the Doctor.
No.
That would be good. But they go to the end of the hallway.
He's burned my goodwill after his horrible turn as Dracula. I do not want Nick Cage doing anything funny.
Nick Cage as the Doctor and as all the Daleks.
So they walk to the end of the hallway, and at the end of the hallway, there's a computer that somehow uses base 10, as opposed to base 8, base 12, any other number base, but it's base 10 so the Doctor can figure out their language. And the Doctor and Donna try to fix the ship, and then they encounter aliens who have all sorts of problems maintaining their shape, like in this case where they take up an entire fucking hallway. And the aliens are from beyond the edge of the universe, and they want to invade our universe. And do you know how we prevent this from happening? The captain of the ship committed suicide, and she set up the world's slowest self-destruct sequence. A self-destruct sequence that took 3 years to initiate.
But why, though?
Because if it was so slow, the extra universal aliens couldn't figure it out.
But why, though?
And she committed suicide so they couldn't read her mind to figure out what she had done.
But why, though?
Well, because they want to come and invade our reality.
That's not how you do it, self-destruct. I've seen Star Trek 3. You set it, and you teleport away, and when the boarding party gets up, they're like, there's a countdown. And then they lean in, and it's the last 30 seconds, and then it explodes, because that's how that shit works. What do you mean?
Number one,
I set the slowest self-destruct imaginable, so the aliens wouldn't figure it out. What do you mean? They figure it out if it's faster? Are they reverse geniuses? Do they get more retarded as they go slower?
So,
Do we feed them coffee? Just make them slow down? What the fuck?
so the so the self-destruct is an uninteresting Rube Goldberg device that takes 3 years to do the count of
Wait,
10.
wait. It's a Rube Goldberg device, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No, that's an interesting Rube
What?
Goldberg device.
That's what? All right, Larry. All right, I need to know. What's the ship powered by? What device is it?
The ship is powered by something which they don't share.
Like a singularity, or like solid fuel, or like
They
some kind
don't
of
share
energy
what it's.
propulsion system,
They
or
don't
like a
share what
nuclear
it's.
core. Because you know what? I can make those things erupt real fast. Give me a goddamn lead pipe and a will. I'll make it happen. What the fuck do you mean? 3 years for a Rube Goldberg device like Mousetrap to catch aliens and explode? What the fuck?
They don't reveal what the power source is, but the Rube Goldberg device is there's a robot that has to get to the end of the hallway in 3 years to press the self-destruct button.
Yeah, that robot for the last 3 years, Rune, has been making pasta on the counter and then scooping it into the trash can and starting over.
So wait, and what you're telling me is that she pushed a button 3 years ago, and all the devices went off,
No.
and the hamster
She
ran
set
to
up.
the wheel,
She set up.
and that
She set up.
activated
No.
activated
That's
the robot, and it's the little tiny toy robot that's been walking to push the button this
Making
entire
pasta.
time and never fell over.
Yes.
He's been making Sundays in the toilet.
It's
The
less
ship is made of an erector set. The ship is made of a fucking erector set. What the fuck?
And the ship is slowly transforming into a bomb over a 3-year period.
A bomb.
By bomb, he means shitty food on TikTok.
It's gonna explode in space in the middle of nowhere. It's turning into a bomb. It's a
No,
mobile
Rune.
bomb. Do you know what we call
No,
that,
Rune.
Larry? We call that a missile. Where is it aiming? Where is it gonna go?
No, Rune is headed towards Earth, and Bruce Willis has to
No.
stop it with the power of
No,
the
it's
fifth
not.
element.
No. You see, it's at the edge of the
I don't have any
universe.
fire, Church. I don't have any fire. I need fire for the thing. I need the stones. Not one
So-
or 2 or 3, but 4 stones. No stones, no crates.
But it's at the edge of the universe, so it's not in the middle of nowhere. It's at the edge of nowhere. And
You did
The,
this on purpose, Larry. You did this
yes,
on
I did.
purpose. We were talking about this. You showed me all the stupid stuff, and you held back
I did.
the super
For-
dumb. Because for the best reasons, for comedic reasons, because you knew that as soon as I found out about the fucking Doomsday device, I would lose my shit. You knew it. I was having
it
a
takes-
lovely day. I was
it
having
takes
a
time.
lovely fucking day, and it's ruined. My day is
Wait,
ruined,
wait.
and my meal is horrible.
Wait. So it takes the Doctor and the copy alien version of the Doctor the entire episode to figure out that there's a Doomsday device, even though the Doctor and Donna figured out it was a Doomsday device at the beginning of the episode.
So why didn't they leave?
Because the TARDIS fucked off. Because there was a danger.
So let me get this straight. We poured it in. We stepped out of our TARDIS rather than our TARDIS telling us that it was a danger. And then the TARDIS just left, leaving us on the danger so that we had to deal with the danger when the danger was a self-correcting problem that didn't fucking need us.
Well, yes.
Russell T. Davies, I don't know if you watch this show, and I doubt it. But if perhaps somehow friends of yours at the BBC find your way to this, here's what I want you to do. First, I want you to write up your resignation letter. Secondly, I want you to name me as your successor so that I can come to England and I can work for the BBC and make better Doctor Who. As someone who doesn't like Doctor Who and has never watched Doctor Who. And then I want you to go to Minecraft and I want you to build a gun. It's going to take you a long time, a lot of redstone, a lot of switches. And then I want you to activate that gun in Minecraft and blow your Minecraft brains the fuck out!
Well, Rune. Russell T. Davies used the culture war to trick the BBC into giving him the exclusive license to create Doctor Who. and then he allied with the Dark Tower of Morgoth in Disneyland.
I know you're joking, but it makes perfect sense.
It does.
Russell
It
T
does.
Davies traveled out of the east in the dark lands to Disney and approached Saruman the Wise and said,
Huh!
I have brought forth the Doctor,
Oh
but I
boy!
need resources.
Oh boy! I need to ruin another pop culture franchise that people love. Huh?
Oh God! And all of the anger of neckbeards and geeks the world over keeps Walt Disney alive in cryostasis for another year.
Now there is the body snatcher problem near the end of the episode where the Doctor has to pick the right Donna, and it all comes down to her teacher, Mrs. Bean. Why was Mrs. Bean funny?
Because Mr. Bean was unavailable?
No. They do not reference the iconic British property, Mr. Bean.
Even though
Because
Mr.
that's-
Bean has been the Doctor and was the Doctor in a really great special.
He was. That would have made some sense, wouldn't it?
Matter of point, guys. If you want to reclaim the Doctor Who fans, get Rowan Atkinson to play the Doctor. We'll come back.
And so they return to Earth. We see Wilt, which is good. We see the nice old man that was like, oh no, it's nice to see Wilt again. And then everybody on Earth is going crazy. Everybody's got some sort of affliction of some sort, so people are going crazy. Planes are crashing out of the air. And this is the prelude to Neil Patrick Harris doing mischievous toy maker business. My biggest complaints was CGI was bad. CGI was bad because, number one, it was used for them to walk into the hallway. Whenever they were on rooms of the ship, they built actual sets for it, which made the hallways sequence look really fake. And they rode on a really fake flying golf cart that didn't look good. Almost like they possibly rushed doing those effects before the effects artists all unionized who work for Disney. And by almost, I mean probably exactly like that.
You know, this is compounded by a realization because you've put it together. This is the middle of a trilogy.
Yes.
This was not a trilogy.
Yes.
They could have done story 1, cut out story 2, and done story 3, cohesive narrative, and been done. They elected to do an intermediate story, and unless they do some fuckery in the third act, the intermediate story has no connection to the primary material. It's utterly irrelevant.
And
which means it's both boring, bad, and not fun.
Yes. It's all of those things. They also reference the Timeless Child, which is a red flag among Doctor Who fans, where they retcon the Doctor to having not been a Gallifreyan, not been a Time Lord. He's from someplace else. Where's that? Fuck if we know.
Well, it's because all things circle around the Doctor, and we all know who the Doctor really is, Larry. He's Jesus.
No, he's actually not Jesus.
He's gonna die for your sins one of these times, you know it.
Well, no, he has died for all of us.
Right.
And then
I'm just saying, some dumb fucker at some point is gonna say, "Hey guys, what if we pulled the rug out and revealed that the Doctor was the historical Jesus and died for our sins, and then ascended 7 days later as an energy being?"
Well, no, the problem is the Doctor's met Jesus.
But that's not a problem if you're a shit who doesn't give a shit about, continuity, and it's time whammy. So it could be that the Doctor met Jesus, but he wasn't Jesus at that time because he didn't know he was Jesus because he can't be in two places at once. But because Doctor,
Well, no. He can be in two places at once.
right,
He's got a time machine.
right. But I mean, Trinitarian tells us that Doctor is both God and the Ghost and the Son, but he's not any of those things at the same time in any one time or place because he's the Doctor.
Actually, he's all those things sometimes in the
I
same time
know.
and place.
I know. I'm saying I can be a bad writer too at will.
And at the end of this sequence where they brought back the most popular Doctor of the modern era, who's willing to come back to work for the show, and his most popular companion, albeit she's a divisive figure in the fandom, this is what they decided to do to set up the gay, genderqueer Black Doctor. This is how they're teeing that off.
When you say gay, genderqueer Black Doctor,
Mhm.
all I can hear is the word Jello,
Mhm.
and it took me a minute to realize that. Like immediately, my brain went to Bill Cosby jokes.
Because who doesn't love a nice cup of Jello pudding?
Who doesn't love a nice cup of Jello pudding? The Doctor loves Jello pudding. The Doctor loves a pudding pop.
But yep. And they also made a big deal about how the Doctor was going to have a trans companion, and it looks like she was in one episode a little bit. It'll probably be in another episode a little bit.
Is the companion's name Transport?
Nope, it's Rose.
Again.
Yes, but it's a different Rose.
Again.
It's a 20-year-old actor playing a 15-year-old who fully transitioned at 15. Oh, and the 20-year-old hasn't fully transitioned.
I watched a movie review recently
Mhm.
that really talked shit about the recent Hellraiser film, the one that went direct to Hulu.
The one that you and I both liked.
The one that you and I both liked. And there is one interesting thing about that. Everybody was really impressed, in spite of themselves, by the actress that they got to be Pinhead. Book fans were very enthusiastic because that's in keeping with the book, that the Hell Priest is in fact a female in book. And you know what? Their being trans or non-binary was never a plot point in the horror. It was just what it was.
Yep.
I know nothing about this Doctor Who run because I haven't watched it, because I don't care for Doctor Who. But everything you just told me is, we're gonna watch a show about the Doctor. The Doctor is a gay, queer-coded black man, super scientist adventurer with a transsexual teenage partner. And
no. The trainee's not going to be going with the black one. They're going to give him a white lady to work with him.
Oh, of course. Because apparently Jungle Fever's okay if it's the women that are into it.
Well, no. He's gay, remember? He's not into the ladies.
Right, but I'm always tickled by the fact the number of media outlets that I have seen try to be progressive in their content, and their go-to is, let's partner black male with white woman, right?
Mhm.
As though white men can't work with black women without there being a sexual component. As though people of different ethnicities don't work together every day. As if any of that fucking matters, because that's the thing, is that you don't sell me Doctor Who on the contents of their pants or the nature of their politics. You sell me on Doctor Who on the content of its adventures. Where is the Doctor going? What is the Doctor doing? What wonders will I see that I did not see yesterday?
Well, Well, in the second episode, he walked down a long hallway, and he
I can see that
manipulated
anywhere.
some pipes,
I can see that anywhere.
and then he ran from some badly rendered CGI monsters,
Seen plenty of that.
and he talked a lot.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
And then he made a slow explosion happen at regular speed.
See, you and I, in our casual conversations, we talk about Eggleston a lot, but there is something Eggleston brought to the Doctor that I think David Tennant does not, or at least I've never seen in any of the David Tennant episodes I have seen, and that is gravitas, that pretentious word for being serious.
Oh, he's done that in several episodes.
Well,
But
because here's the thing. I mentioned that first episode and how great the plastic aliens are, right?
Mhm.
But there's a great scene in that. There's the Doctor. He's standing over the pit of molten plastic, and he's communicating with it in ways we don't understand because he's got that upper brain thing and can do the psychic. And it's making all kinds of noises at him because it's complaining. And he says, "I am speaking," and it shuts up. It shuts up because he's the fucking Doctor, and they know that he's got them over the barrel, and he's known for doing things like cosmic genocide. Maybe we don't make this man angry.
Yes.
Right. That's something impressive that sticks with me because it stuck with me for 20 years, 15, right? Hi, I'm the Doctor. I'm a gay black man. That's not going to stick with me. I don't care. I don't care. I will never care.
Also, the 260th anniversary episodes have had the lowest rating of any Doctor Who episodes featuring David Tennant.
Well, as you said in reference to the first of the two specials, I believe you didn't say David Tennant was a little drunk, but you said David Tennant seemed very tired and sort of uninterested.
Yes. Now, in the second episode, he was more interested.
Well,
which makes me wonder about
reshoots.
Yeah. And the trans person is likely going to be in this final episode, unless something really weird happens. And then the Doctor's going to fight Neil Patrick Harris, who's the toy maker, who can make reality into his toys.
I have another example of this problem, okay? Because we were talking about this, and I do like Neil Patrick Harris. I remember him as Doogie Howser. And I know he's gone on to do many good television and some film. He's actually a quality actor. He's doing things. But I do remember running across Doctor Who some night. It was on just a clip, just in the middle of things. And Doctor Who was in a set that was obviously a set, and there was a stone idol, and it had a small box in it, and the box opened, and there's a blue head, like a guy that's done nothing but drink silver for days, right? And he starts talking to the head, and the head starts talking back, and they're talking about profound cosmic things. And the only reason that this scene stuck with me is because it was so weird. It was just so wacky that it's like you found
the Doctor was also wearing a Stetson.
Right. But the Doctor found this ancient temple from long ago, and here's this head that talks about him like they've known each other forever.
They have, actually. They have.
No,
he was in several previous episodes when he was more than a head.
But see, here's the thing. All right. Let's think about the context of this plot. We'll put aside for a minute how stupid it is and how much it makes me angry. The Doctor is on a spaceship. Okay. The spaceship's going to blow up. Okay. There are aliens on the spaceship. Okay. Where are the aliens from? Beyond the known galaxy. Okay.
No, beyond the known universe. Beyond the known universe.
What do the aliens want? Bad stuff. Why do they want it? Bad reasons.
They're angry at us for existing.
What are we going to do? Well, we got to get off the ship. So we have a ticking clock that's a non-ticking clock to resolve a problem that's a non-problem that I have seen better done more places every fucking where.
Mhm.
And quite frankly, I can already think of better ways to do it, more interesting and complicated ways to do it, that would have not required as much CGI and would have been cheaper.
But you could have also not used the CGI. It could have been a smaller spaceship.
Yeah.
That's another thought that we
And see,
could have done.
Now that my immediate anger has passed, now I am tired. This is making me tired. It's also tiresome. It makes me want to not be here anymore and to die inside, because this is all very sad. Because it could have been better, and it's not. And you know what?
Mhm.
I don't care. Fuck it. Fuck
Well, you know what?
everything.
You know what? I want to give you something to make you feel good, Joe.
Is it a food video?
It is not a food video.
All right.
I clicked the link to the Twitter that has, and the people can watch it as we're watching it. It is a trailer for a new Gundam series. It's going to be on Netflix.
I mean, I don't care for Gundam, but I'll take your word for it. Let's have a see. Let's have a look. Let's have a glance.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, after this, I actually do have an interesting piece for the show. If we want to get back to comics for a minute,
Okay.
but let us check this trailer here. Once you get it set up.
What?
Once you get it set up, this trailer.
Oh, I actually put the link because Church,
because we're staring at Dr. Huvela's face.
Oh, it's still on screen share.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. Church, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Church. How exactly do I route the sound?
Okay, so when you go to screen share,
Yeah.
there's three options, right? You got share your whole window, share an application window, or share a tab, I believe.
Mhm.
On the share your whole window and share a tab option, there's a little box at the bottom that says share system audio.
Let me.
I think it's only not available on the middle one.
All right, let's try this here. And it's supposed to be an option.
No, it was when you were setting up the share in
Oh,
the bottom corner on that window.
give me a
When you're
second.
picking what to share. And it only does it, like, it works on the tab and it works on the share your entire screen, but it doesn't work on sharing application windows.
Having
Okay.
already frenzied out like an animal, I feel it's important to say we're professionals, everybody.
Hey, we're learning. We're learning.
The fact that I can remember that.
All right, so let's let me try this again. Because I'm not seeing that option there. But I'm also using Firefox because I don't want to use Chrome.
Oh, no,
I
but
may have
I think Chrome is the only one that offers it.
Yeah. So let's see what happens when I press the button.
Joe can share the thing and you can just share the screen.
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
I can also share audio tab because I have Brave, which is a Chroma-like with less spyware.
Yeah.
All right. Then Joe, click on the link and put that up. Then
I would. I'm on a cell phone, so.
well, no, I know you're working for Santa right now.
Yeah.
Secretly
That's
investing the
horrible.
child labor violations of the elves.
Yeah. Well, apparently an elf year is 122 human years, so these are technically all children.
I mean, but they all look like Patrick Warburton, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, full beards and everything.
So if you click the link there, that's in the.
I
doobly
gotta ask:
doo.
is there one that looks like Joe from Family Guy?
No, they all look like the Tick.
Oh,
Mm.
excellent.
That's even better.
Okay, now this is currently set to share tab audio, so
Okay.
it should work.
Let's do it.
I'll turn this shit up all the way. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
This is Sentinel 2 lead. We read you loud and clear. I need those mobile suits on the ground now! Deploy 42!
You heard the Major. Red Wolves, prepare to drop.
Charlie, how you holding up?
Don't worry about me. What the hell is that?
I mean, doesn't that make you feel a little better, Joe?
I was gonna say, did you guys all hear that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, it doesn't me. I'm not a Gundam fan, but I know my friend Ty is a big Gundam fan, and if I say the word Zaku, she will lose her mind.
That's how happy it made me, Larry. I'm breathing heavy now.
Yeah.
Church isn't
And-
having a cigarette because he's on break. He's having a cigarette because he needs one now.
So, what was the comics thing you were going to bring up?
Bit of a fun thing, bit of a side thing, not really a big thing. But you know, it's there, and I'm getting response about it. Now, I want to be clear. I've already given my opinion in text. Everyone is absolutely free to disagree with me if there's something you like. It's just an interesting query. So, a guy named Wyatt Eastman, I don't know whom, claims to be a let me see if I get this here. A PC, a writer, an estate pilot of Meanwhile, Comic Showcase, hashtag Bash Conspiracies, whatever. Followed by a bunch of indie comic guys. Open question: can the X-Men comics be course corrected, or are these characters too far off course?
Joe, can you link
guys-
us the
I
can you link us the
absolutely
doobly doo
link. I can absolutely link you
so that we could share that for the people?
for the people. Put that in the private, put that in the comments, put that in the comments.
Yeah, put that in the comments.
There you go. So I'll get back to reading here. Who do you guys think might be able to fix this situation? My argument is the following.
Frank Miller.
If he can do it, if he's alive enough. My argument's the following. And again, no bias. You're welcome to disagree. That's fine. One, disavow everything from Astonishing forward. It was a scheme. It was a villainous plan by an antagonist. Because I've not liked anything X-Men since Astonishing X-Men with Whedon. Okay.
Mhm.
Two, back to basics. Xavier in the driver's seat, literally. Teams working off the book as humanitarian defenders and emphasize the school.
Mhm.
Because we got to go back to school. Seriously.
Mhm.
And three, most importantly, make mutants relatable people. The contrast of mundane difficulties and
Fuck, Rune, you almost had it. You fucking almost had it. You goddamn ruined it. If you would have said make mutants great again, that would have been the best post you've ever made on social media.
Yes, I know, but I'm not that kind of guy. The contrast
Hold
of
up,
mundane
hold up,
difficulties and-
hold up. Church, we need to get a Photoshop of Graydon Creed with a Make Mutants Great Again hat on.
Yes, The contrast of mundane difficulties and wrestling with the experience of normal, actual bigotry are the balance for superheroics to show what mutants are both fighting for and against. Because we've talked about this.
Wow.
We've talked about this a lot. This has been talked about till it's blue in the face. No one relates to a bunch of militant weirdos living on a super island holding the world around
No.
for drugs.
No. You need to say it correctly. A group of ethno-nationalist terrorists who run a narco state and use their power in a narco state to blackmail the global elites.
Right. You can't sell
That's what-
people. You can't sell people on the idea this is an oppressed minority fighting back. That doesn't work.
I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah. I honestly believe that how they fix this in a hypothetical environment is you do what they did to course correct when they did Secret Invasion, right? You reveal
Just pretend like it didn't happen.
Well, no. What happened, if you recall, was that an alien ship crashed, and it was revealed that many of the superheroes that had been replaced by Skrulls had actually been imprisoned.
Mhm.
Right? So you reveal that the X-Men were victims of the Krakoa plot. That the plant people were plant people. Which we all know they are. Right? So when it's like...
We've all known that they were always the plant people.
Right. So when it's like, well, why is Xavier can't walk again? Xavier could never walk. That's when it started. That was the plan. That was the warning sign no one fucking saw. Well, what about Cyclops and the Phoenix? Plant people fuckery. All of it. All of the stupid shit was plant people fuckery. And you don't deny any of it. You don't undo it. You instead deal with the ramifications that the X-Men have lost whatever little credibility they had, both in the super community and the human society, because not only are they again outlaws, but they are widely regarded as terrorists, right? Like, literally, the hyper-militants of X-Force walk up to the regular X-Men and go, we thought we were bad, you guys are fucked. Right? And it's like, how do we rebuild? How do we pull back from this? And the answer the answer has always been the same. Civic works. Good works. You prove your intentions by doing the right thing. The right thing was the school. The right thing was advocating for equality. The right thing was advocating for mutant rights and the protection of humans. The right thing was telling Magneto to go get fucked. These were never complicated arguments. And when a death-dealing psychopath like Apocalypse shows up and says, but what about survival of the fittest? You show him the fittest by kicking his goddamn ass again.
You're not wrong.
He is not wrong.
And no, I mean, you could, if they actually did this, like if they theoretically did this, and even do it with Frank Miller, get Frank in on it. I'm fine with that. What would you say? 10, 15 years of stories? How long could you grind the X-Men being behind the 8 ball for shit they did that you didn't deny?
I mean, we've kind of already had that, though.
With what? Where? When?
I mean, you've seen House of M. You've seen all that other bullshit play out.
Right.
You saw the mutants in the middle of the goddamn Secret War, Civil War.
But every time that happens, it either gets hand waved because that's old event, get excited for next event, right?
But what if the events are garbage?
Or they are somehow absolved.
Yeah,
right?
but we're taking all that away. But the thing is we've already seen the mutants get punished over and over and over again. Like, that's honestly why there was so much hype for Jonathan Hickman taking over the franchise, because for a long time there, Rune, all it was mutants fucked up, genocide, or not genocide,
right.
but
that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. That's shit, and we know that shit. Okay? What I'm talking about is X victories, right? Mutants doing good by doing good. and being heroes, the thing they're supposed to be.
Well, look,
In this
Joe,
climate, you can't write that book.
you
It
can't.
has to be. It has to be. Woke mutant versus prejudiced human.
And that's the problem.
Because heroes are a colonialist narrative, Joe.
Sure.
Heroism is colonialism.
But that was the nature of the question. The question was, can you course correct and how do you do it? Well, yes, you can. How you do it is you tell stories of heroism. If you then look at me and say, but heroism can't work today, it's like, yeah, that's the problem.
Well, I mean, it can work
Congratulations,
today.
you've identified the problem.
I mean, it can work today, but not with the people who are making the creative decisions.
And I'm not saying you're wrong, Church, because no, like if you told me Frank Miller has defeated cancer and he's got 15 more years of life left in him and he can absolutely do another comic, yeah, sure, let's give him X-Men. I would love Frank Miller's X-Men. But
I don't know. It would just be the Dark Knight Returns Wolverine.
It would, with Elektra and ninjas.
I would read that actually. Yeah,
I mean, sure. But what I was about to say is that the thing is, we shouldn't actually rely on Saint Miller to save us. Just like we shouldn't rely.
We should get Saint Enos to fuck it up worse.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is like the trend is to look back to what worked and then hope that the ancients will save us. Saint Morrison, Saint Treebeard, come fix our comic for us. No, he's part of the problem. He laid the groundwork for this bullshit. Why do you think he can fix it? He broke it in the first place.
No, he was gone before it got that broken.
I know it's more broken now. But what I'm saying is, like, you know, we're talking about Disney and Disney's mismanagement. What is Disney's big initiative? X-Men 92. We're going to bring back the cartoon that you love, that you've seen, that you say.
They already did that.
No, they haven't brought it back yet.
Yeah, they did. They did it during Secret Wars 2015, you asshole.
No, I'm talking about their way to bring it back as a cartoon, where they brought the entire creative team from the old cartoon.
Right.
And you know what the lead creator said? We don't want to do any nonsense politics. We want to do something that fits into the narratives that were in the original show, and it seems like a seamless transition. And you know why he was able to say that and have Disney sign off on it?
Because he was lying.
No, he wasn't lying. It's because he's a black man.
Right.
So he was lying.
He's still lying.
No. I have faith in him based off of his spending quite some time saying, listen, anybody who came in wanting to write on this project and insulted the fans, I told them to leave.
Look, Church and I are shitlords. You don't deny it, Church. You know it's true.
I never did.
We're not saying your faith is ill-placed. I hope you're right. I hope he's what he says he's on the tin.
I'm saying I'll believe it when I fucking see it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll believe it when I see it. Because how many times have we been misled? How many times has it been that, it looks like the course is finally correcting, only to reveal that in the aftermath, behind the scenes,
it's never been like that.
Shit was undone.
So a lot of people had hope that Rusty Davies was going to fix Doctor Who.
Right. And now look at it.
Yeah. But the funniest thing is, I have to say, in the context, this is not the worst start of the new Doctor era that we've had.
And what I'm getting at is that on paper,
unbreaded,
going back to the style that made X-Men great on TV, X-Men 92, is a great idea. Right? But in practice, it's recidivism. It's head in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the issue is not that X-Men needs to go backward, even if the function of a plot line is a rewind. Right? It's that X-Men needs to move forward beyond what they've been doing in the last 15, 20 years. It needs to evolve meaningfully as a storytelling medium. And that's not pet politics. That's addressing new and interesting things in new and interesting ways with intelligence. That thing that they think is the enemy of creativity.
Hmm.
All right. I grew up reading 90s Spider-Man comics. If you told me we're gonna go do Spider-Man, we're gonna go back to the 90s, I'd be like, oh, great. I mean, there were some good
Well,
stories
no.
there, but
Oh,
you know,
hold on,
I
you
don't want to
say-
go back and do 90s Spider-Man over again.
Well, no. The correct question is early 90s or late 90s.
That's the thing. That's the thing. They would say we're gonna go back and do 90s Spider-Man. My brain would think early 90s. And then it would be late 90s. And I'd be like, oh, that's not the good Spider-Man.
Why'd
Right?
you do that?
Because the thing is that they're getting the wrong lessons. We say you have to go back. We have to do it like we used to. And what they think the response is, oh, so you guys want the Clone Saga again, right?
No.
You want Clone Saga 2. And it's like, no, we don't want Clone Saga 2. We want quality storytelling, you dumb fuck. But
Well,
the Clone
I hate-
Saga sold a lot. That doesn't mean it was good. That means we were poor.
I do want to put a controversial topic out here that the multiverse saga for Spider-Man is just the Clone Saga in a slightly less offensive form.
How is that controversial? It's true.
I mean, it would be controversial to a lot of people on the internet.
Well, a lot of people on the internet can go suck dicks. Look, just because you don't see them does not mean the wrong dongs are not there, slapping them in the face, moving in and out of their mouths at all times.
So, Church, live from the North Pole. Do you have anything you want to...
Just listening to Runesburg out was pretty good. I appreciated that.
So what do you think of what's going on? What sort of wisdom do you want to provide to the people?
Oh, I'm actually busy trying to put a hat on Graydon Creek. That's making it great again.
So that needs to be the churchman. And if we can wait it out, if he can get it done, we need to end on Graydon Creed saying "Make Mutants Great Again" while wearing a "Make Mutants Great Again" hat.
Saying I got to put a fucking word bubble in here too. Come on, I'm working.
Well, I mean, look. The other option is you have the Red Skull wearing a "Make Mutants Great Again" hat.
I mean, the Red Skull.
Picture.
The Red Skull's already been Trump.
You know what the funny?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You know what the funny part is? If you wanted to vilify Trump, Graydon Creed is actually the better example to use.
Hmm?
Because he's a anti-mutant nationalist. He ran for mayor. He ran for president. The Friends of Humanity are basically Nazis. It's a much better representation of the homegrown hatred that they wanted to use, but they had to use Red Skull for some fucking reason. Like it's not just because of his face. No one in America would buy what Red Skull is putting down, but
You know what
people in America would absolutely buy what Graydon Creed is picking up.
You know what I like though about they're using Red Skull is the writer who did that put some borderline anti-Semitic screed together to support the Hamas raid into Israel. Really makes you think.
And you know, quite frankly, if they had Red Skull screaming for Jewish genocide, that would be on brand. That would make sense. That would fit.
So, is there any other role-playing game drama and nonsense that you want to talk about, Joe, to buy Church some time for his Photoshop skills?
Let me look.
Illustrator, but
I mean, for normal people, that's the same thing, Church. You know that.
it is.
I mentioned Grim Jim earlier. Grim Jim did actually comment on the Goodman Games thing. He put out a video called "Bigotry Will Destroy Your Career Before It Even Starts." But I don't suspect that's what people think it is.
Well, I mean, the woke scolds are bigots
Mm-hmm.
in the original meaning of the term.
Well, actually, could work.
Mostly, because this is the thing. Mostly everything else in the tabletop sphere has been the usual idiots saying the usual idiot things. It doesn't matter what side of the fence the idiots are saying it on; they're being idiots. So there's been arguments about alignment, which no one cares about, and story gamers versus real gamers who roll dice, and arguments that have never mattered and will never go away because these are the natural life progressions of tabletop gaming.
So actually, Joe, you've gotten into one of the most narrative games that has been built for role-playing game.
Work.
And you've
check
played
your
it.
check your Twitter DMs.
Give me a
Oh
second.
God, Church has slid into my DMs.
As he's wont to do.
Let's see if this works. There we go. That actually could work.
Boop. 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 Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I am eager to see this now.
It is exactly what I was wanting.
Well, I mean, are you going to share with the rest of the
I
class?
had to redraw that hat with a pen tool.
Hey, Church, for a man like you, it's important to get your talent right. So, can you screen share that or no?
I'm still on a phone. I just had to send it to you.
Joe, can you pull it up and share it on the Twitter DMs?
Oh, that is great. Oh, that is magical. That is magical. Give me just a second.
I had to find a hat that was going the right direction to redraw on his head.
I mean, it was the 90s. It could have been a backwards hat, as that was the style at the time.
And it is a red hat.
Oh,
it is.
So
it has
great.
to be a red hat.
Now, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I was working at Marvel at the time that this image was created, I'm working on X-Men 92. How did Graydon Creed get a Make a Mutants Great Again hat? And why is he wearing it? It's Graydon Creed's birthday party, right? He's got the news media there because he wants to show off because of how proud and arrogant he is, right? And so he opens the box and it's unmarked. It just says, "From your biggest fans with love." Right? Because what it actually is having just defeated the Friends of Humanity in some other fashion, the Wolverine and a couple of the other more snarky X-Men pulled their money and got Graydon Creed and Make Mutants Great Again hat, and he has to wear it in front of the media because it was given to him at a public function, and he is so mad. Oh, $1 million. So great.
Oh. Shoot. Next episode, remind us we need to talk about the return of CM Punk.
Okay.
Oh yeah. How did that go?
Huge pop. It helped the episode of Raw he came back on The only problem is they put it at the end of the show, and the show kind of stank. So that was a subpar result. But
I don't understand how anybody can still like CM Punk.
What do you mean?
Well, he's a dickbag, and he's kind of terrible at everything he does.
I mean, except for, helping AEW sell, helping the WWE sell.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you help someone sell if you're a terrible cockbag. Like I hated that Hulk Hogan was so successful, and that's kind of the route he's going down.
I mean, Church, I have a friend who is more into wrestling than I am, and he's constantly complaining about how much he dislikes Roman Reigns and thinks Roman Reigns doesn't bring heat. So
I think Roman Reigns in his current run has proven himself.
Run his course. He's run his course.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of what the plan is for CM Punk. Now, if I were booking the WWE right now, it'd still be Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania. That's going to be where Roman drops the belt. But, Roman's going to have everybody, every asset to his benefit. And CM Punk takes them all out after he beat Rollins on day one of WrestleMania.
Well, look, the obvious answer is Graydon Creed is going to make wrestling great again. Because I hear he's doing great things for mutants today.
He's bringing mutants back, yes.
Bringing mutants back.
Like sexy.
All right. So, Church, do you have anything to leave the people with before we close off the show today?
I'm just curious if Justin Timberlake ever came back from the country after being run out by the people who still love Britney Spears.
I don't think he did. No, I think he's gone.
Wait, Justin Timberlake got ran out of the country?
Oh yeah.
I did not know this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's some Britney Spears drama.
Yeah, so it's been revealed by Britney Spears that Justin talked her into having an abortion. That
When she was a teenager.
Okay. And so he's on the run?
A lot of fans are very upset at him. So he's been laying low.
Hey, he talked a lot of shit about her throughout his career. And now it's kind of all coming back to roost.
Well, I mean, we all know what he's saying now.
He don't. He left the country.
He actually hasn't said anything different from what he said back then.
Well, no, he's on the run, and he's saying, "Fetus, don't fail me now."
You know what?
Fetus, delete us.
You know what? I don't think we're going to beat that for the show. So good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good job. See, know when to end it. Know when to fold it.
Exactly.